That scares the crap out of me every time I hear that sound out of the laptop. Give everybody a few minutes to hop in. You want the SOS pads?
Yeah.
Dish scrubbers? Yeah.
I need those.
Yeah. Stew meat?
Yeah, I have to get more of those.
Right, I think that's everything. Hey everyone. A lot has been happening lately, and some very serious things have come to the surface. And no, didn't do anything. Don't worry. Quite recently, there was a very serious case of defamation of character committed against me by someone in the SRT community. And I have tried to appeal the ban on my Twitch as a result, as essentially what I was doing was I made a final Twitch to you guys, it's a final update stream to you guys on Twitch, updating you guys on what's been going on, the fact that my wife was fired from her job and that our home is now at risk, which is still unfortunately the case. I can buy us maybe a month or two left, and that's it. And given how job hunting's been going lately, it's not looking good. There was a YouTube video that was released of me saying to this individual that I wanted to punch them in the teeth. And though I was venting, this was intentionally and maliciously taken out of context in a 10-second clip posted on YouTube to publicly vilify me on the entire platform of YouTube. I have not reported the video, nor do I intend to. I have not taken action, nor do I intend to. Instead, what I plan to do is move forward with my life. I was kicked when I was down, essentially, by someone I once called a friend. This person was there for me when my daughter died, and even helped me with my job searching before they inevitably turned around and ridiculed me for not being able to find anything, despite knowing I have various mental illnesses and disabilities that have made it very difficult to find and keep jobs. I have spoken openly about this with friends before, but I don't think I've ever addressed it on stream at all. I hold absolutely zero ill will towards the person responsible, hence why I'm not even saying their name, because I don't want to cause a hate mob. This action that was taken against me was purely out of a vendetta against me, out of vindictiveness, as was explained to me by my best friend, who was close to them. They confirmed that This person did not at all feel threatened by my statement. This was 100% out of spite and vindictiveness. As for what caused this vindictiveness, the only thing I can think of is last year this person was in my Discord community when I exposed a predator who was 25 sexually pursuing a 17-year-old that we later found out was actually 16, hence why I took the action I did to kick him out. And that was the first strike. I have a 3-strike policy in my server most times, but this was one of the very few times I just couldn't let it go. This person then spent 3.5 hours alongside another SRT runner. Again, we'll go on names. Ridiculing me for 3.5 hours about not being able to find work in every possible way imaginable, almost acting like a schoolyard bully. Both of these people I was close to, by the way, and knew I have mental health problems and disabilities that make keeping and finding work very, very difficult. Which, it's gotten to the extent even my caseworker has said flat out, it's like, I don't see any hope of you finding anything because it seems like every job you could find is out of the way. And I keep telling her, it's like, I don't care if the job's out of the way, I need to find work. I've needed to find work for 5 years. Well, I'm finally getting calls lately, and every single one of them has turned me down for not having my license. I asked if I could use Uber or Lyft instead, as I have steady income in a sense that I can use that to get to work if need be, which I can then make my permanent income the job, and they said no. I was brutally betrayed. There's no other way to put it. There's no over-exaggerating this. This was purely a vindictive move against my character. It is a very serious crime known as defamation of character, as taking a clip out of a stream out of context purely with the intent of causing harassment is considered defamation of character, a very serious crime. I, however, have no interest in seeking any sort of legal action. I just want it all to end. I lost my job, I lost the respect of my peers in the SRT community, and I lost several friends due to an out-of-context clip that has been taken and weaponized against me. I kicked this person out of my community because he defended a predator, and then ridiculed me for not being able to find work, despite knowing my situation, knowing where I live, which is basically in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, job-wise. His solution was to walk for 3.5 hours in the freezing cold and in the dead of summer to find employment. I ended up doing that, and you know what? They all told me to apply online. So I did. Never heard back from those jobs. Even called in to check on my application every single time I applied at those places. Nothing. I've spent a lot of time feeling sorry for myself because at the end of the day, yeah, this was wrong. This was, by all definition, a malicious act against me. And it hurt because I've spent my entire life, even putting my own health on the back burner, admittedly, which I really shouldn't do, I've done much better about that, helping others. Leeds Discord exists because of me. I built the damn thing. I helped Socks reach affiliate. I helped Faded reach affiliate by rating him after my charity stream, bringing over 70 viewers who are now congruent viewers of his. I've done my part in the community on Twitch to help people as much as I could. I've also done 10 charity streams, each with the intent of helping causes that are very near and dear to me, but are also just very important in general, that society seems to want to ignore, unfortunately. Starting with suicide prevention for veterans, all the way up to raising money for those affected by the wildfires and helping the relief efforts in that sense. Hell, even Hope for Ukraine, I did a charity stream for, which no one donated to due to the unfortunate prejudice by Americans towards the Ukrainian people. My point is, I've dedicated my life to helping others. And my entire life, my kind gestures have never been taken as kind gestures. My intent to help has never been seen that way. And it's exhausting, I'll admit. It's very exhausting to be as kind as I can be for the sake of it and still be painted as this monster. Which is ironic because I'm the kind of person where if I did something fucked up or illegal, I would own up to it. saying you want to punch someone in the teeth out of venting frustration due to the fact that their bullying has been hanging in the back of your mind for months is not a threat. A threat entails speaking with intent. You really think I'm going to cross the entire country to cause harm to someone I don't give a shit about? Who has been out of my life so long that the only reason I even thought about what he said to me was because of that situation? No. For too long, I have been misconstrued as this malicious person by people I considered family and friends. For too long have I been seen as someone I'm not. Here's who I am. I am Duncan Christopher Harding. I am 29 years old. I am a humanitarian who helps people for the sake of it. Not for some ulterior motive, not for some political gain or financial gain, but because I want to see people's lives improve. Because if you guys haven't noticed, my life seems to progressively get worse every time you hear from me in these updates. My mother's back in the hospital, and while I feel numb about that because I don't know how to feel about my mother now, it's still another fucking thing that's on my mind. I can maybe buy us 2 months of time. But after that, we will lose our home if we can't find something. And it's looking more and more like it's going to be the case. And whereas most people have backup plans or relatives they can go to or friends that can take them in, we don't have that. We've been brutally betrayed by everyone we've ever trusted in our lives. Say a few people who I regularly talk to. But they're in Europe. So how the hell are we going to move there? But I'm not going to make this whole thing about a whole poor me, my life is shit thing, because anyone can say that, because it's true about most people. Everyone's going through something. It's a philosophy I live by. To remind myself, it's like, yeah, things are bad, right? I'm in this dark tunnel, but there is a light at the end of it. I just have to stay strong through it. I just have to weather the storm and hope that my efforts amount to something. I lost friends recently I called family. For the better part of 2.5 years, which isn't a long time, but as a streamer, pretty big deal considering I made massive projects with these people. I lost the respect of a peer that I did a charity stream with, I believe last year. It was me, Lead, and this person. We were doing the trifecta to break the 3-person trifecta record. But I wanted to make it a charity stream because I'm like, hey, if we're going to stream that long, we might as well do it for a good cause, right? Well, we did. I think we raised money for it. I don't think we actually raised anything for it other than what I donated, which is fine. Everybody's struggling. That's another factor I always take into consideration when doing charity work. I've tried my best to be, I don't know, what everybody else wants me to be. Hyper, energetic, overexcited, but the fact of the matter is, unless it's friends I'm really close to, I'm usually a very quiet person. My wife can attest to this. I rarely talk when I'm at home unless it's about subjects her and I are both familiar with, or if it's something we both have an interest in, but I don't go out of my way to make small talk very often because I suck at it. Anyone who's been in conversations with me can attest to this. Like, talk with me online and I'm a chatterbox, but if you talk with me in real life, you'll find it very difficult for me to be able to talk about anything just because I have crippling social anxiety, which was a huge problem at my old job, unfortunately. The point of saying all this is that I'm going through hell right now, and I'm aware of that. I realize a lot of people have reached out and have realized the reason I did that cover recently was to basically speak in code about my suicidal ideation I've been facing for months now. But it was less about that and more so about taking a negative emotion, right? Taking something that's been critically impacting my health for a while now and trying to vent it healthily in a very creative manner, hence the song, to kind of inspire people, to let them know they're not alone, especially during this month of all months. everybody talks about Pride Month, but very few people acknowledge that it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. But I also don't only help men during this month, I help all genders because suicide is a universal issue and no one deserves to feel suicidal. I wouldn't even wish that on my rapist, who still walks free to this day because, yeah, female rapists are not taken seriously, sadly. And I've had people come up to me, very close, near and dear friends. One, the person who committed this act against me has tried to drag them into it. And my friend basically sent me a screenshot of them saying, I don't want any part of this. Like, you two have beef. I don't know what it's about. Leave me the fuck out of it. And I'm like, there you go. Fair enough. And they're like, are you going to be petty back? And are you vindictive? Are you hateful towards them? And it's like, and I realize how this is going to sound. This is going to sound psychotic, and I apologize for that. Get ready to clip it. I don't feel any which way about him. Maybe it's due to the friendship we had, or maybe it's just because I'm just too tired to be angry. I don't wish any ill will on him, or his wife, or his life. Quite the opposite, actually. I wish him the best in life. Because despite how my character has been misjudged due to a 10-second clip taken out of context, I'm not a vindictive person. I spoke in the heat of the moment out of frustration with knowing that they would laugh if they knew I was suffering the way I was. And lo and behold, they did. As in their video on YouTube, they proudly stated they got my channel banned, considering it a victory, and wishing I will grow from the experience and move forward in life. Yeah, the whole reason I said what I said was because I was beaten down by life itself. Now, I take full responsibility for what I said, and I do understand that I deserve to be banned. While I did not speak with intent to cause violence, I do understand how that could be taken as the case, even during venting, and I accept my punishment of being banned on Twitch. I will move forward with my life from that. I will also add, however, that I don't know if I can trust most of the people in my life anymore. The majority of the people I called friends, say a few, including my podcast host, swept it under the rug. Immediately vilified me as a person. Didn't even think about the fact that, oh, this person and Duncan have had a had this one-way rivalry for over a year. Because I'll be honest, when I kicked him out of my community, I was done with him. I didn't care anymore. I was willing to give him a third chance until him and alongside the other person, again, try not to use names out of respect, because though they felt the need to defend my character, I will not do the same to another person. It's not right. I don't ever see a reason to do that to someone. But when him and the other person were ridiculing me for not being able to find work, I was like, alright, you know what? You already defended a predator. I should have kicked you out then and there. For the sake of what friendship we had at the time, I was trying to be, I guess, understanding and trying to live by the philosophy that the other person said of like, hey, sometimes you gotta just let some stuff go on. And it's like, I realized it's like, this wasn't just some stuff going on. This was defending a predator. And then he had the balls to turn around and go off on me for 3.5 hours for not being able to find work. Nah, you're done, bro. Get out. I'm not gonna fucking form a hate mob against you. I'm not gonna go on a vendetta against you. I'm just kicking you out of my community to be done with it. I'm too damn old to be dealing with someone wanting to act like a goddamn man-child. So I kicked him out and was done with it. Lo and behold, he held a vindictive vendetta against me for a full year, as confirmed by my best friend. And took the opportunity of when I was at my absolute fucking lowest, literally contemplating suicide as I was doing that live stream, I vented about my frustrations with the fact that his words still rang in the back of my head, that I was this bum, this piece of shit who didn't contribute. Funny considering I pay for everything and always have. That I don't do anything with my life, or that I was this loser. And it rang in the back of my head. And I, at first, wasn't going to say anything, and I'm like, no, I want to be transparent with my audience. So I said what I said. and then immediately calmed down, which of course he didn't see that. No, in fact, in his description, he claimed and I quote, made multiple threats on my life. Buddy, if you think someone saying they want to punch you without an intent to actually do so, and only out of venting is a threat, I hate to see what you call venting from your family then. Seriously, if you were this vindictive over someone venting, I really hate to see how you treat someone who pranks you. Like a whoopee cushion or something. I really hate to see how you are towards people like that. You destroyed my life because I kicked you out of my Discord. It didn't even affect your career as an SRT runner. It didn't affect your job. It didn't affect your channels. Still, you held this vindictive nature against me. And yet, I know you're probably expecting me to wish horrible things on you. No. I'll say the same thing I did on that stream. I wish you the best in life. I wish your wife the best in life. I can only imagine what you're going through to feel the need to go this low against someone who is already in the grave, essentially. It's easy for anyone to go out of their way and be a dick to someone. It shows content of character to show kindness in the face of cruelty. And that's what I'm doing. If at any time you want to talk things out, I'm willing to. Because honestly, I'm too damn old to be dealing with this vindictive bullshit. We're both grown-ass men, both married, with loving families and loving wives. Well, my family's not exactly loving, let's be honest. Maybe let's focus on them instead of this petty rivalry you have. Because the irony of all of this, at the very end of that stream, I wished you well. I wished the other person well. Again, won't say the name. I just want to move on with my life. The damage is done. You got your victory. Your soulless, borderline psychotic victory. To have had an obsession that long, honestly. That's very disturbing. The irony is, I was actually going to reach out to you after the stream and try and talk to you. But before I could even archive the stream on Twitch, before I could finish broadcasting... Yeah.
You placed the order already.
Oh, did you want me... Do you want... My bad, I didn't know you wanted to add stuff. Delivery.
That's okay.
Why? What did you want to add?
Cheesecake, I guess. But I didn't want to pressure the timer.
Let me see. I could probably still get it. But different order, but yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine, I can get it.
I'm sorry. I could take some stuff off.
No, you're fine, honey. Take some stuff off. What do you mean? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. It's just, again, call me crazy, because I've been told that it's very crazy for me to feel this way, but I don't harbor any ill will towards them at all. In fact, I hope they do well in life. Life is shit for everyone. And that's it. Thank you for the friendship we did have, man. So you were great to me when we were friends, but consider this me bearing the metaphorical hatchet, because apparently I have to say metaphorical, or even that could be clipped. The irony is, at first, when I was under the impression you actually did feel threatened from my statement, my first reaction was to immediately reach out and talk to you and be like, hey man, sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable or unsafe. I was just venting about my frustrations with everything that has happened. You, me, everything that happened last year, everything that's happening this year, my wife getting fired, and try and talk to you, but it never got that chance. I find it interesting though, because I had no idea that this person was even vindictive against me in the first place until my best friend made it clear. He was like, yeah, no, he did this out of spite. He did this purely out of vindictiveness. Explaining he went too far and that, yeah, this was purely out of spite. And it's like, at first I thought it was someone else, right? Because, I don't know if they even consider me a friend at this point. I hope so, because we were close. Another friend, to avoid ousting the innocent party or whatever, right? Was having a rough time in life, and instead of venting to me, exploded at me. And I did make them uncomfortable at times. Nothing inappropriate, just really stupid shit kind of thing, right? They never communicated this to me, and I've been told that they have a history of not being able to communicate things. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So my first instinct was maybe it was them who did it, and then my best friend reached out to me and said, yeah, no, this was him. And then I woke up at 6 a.m. to a video that this dude tagged me in, defable threatening me on stream. Fun fact about that quote-unquote threat, by the way. Did you know in the state of Missouri, and of course the state he's from, that is not considered a legal threat, as I spoke out of a heat of the moment venting without intent to cause any harm to said individual. On top of this, I never made any attempt on his, yeah, I think that's safe to say, their life. I never spoke with intent to cause harm to said person. Any legal case, any legal situation of the United States will flat out say, yeah, no, he's speaking in the heat of the moment. Speaking out of venting is not the same thing as speaking with vindication or conviction or with intent. So instead of going after me legally, they went after my Twitch, knowing it was the heart and soul of what I do as a humanitarian, as a streamer. You got your victory, bud. You destroyed my life. You cost me several friends, who I guess weren't really friends to begin with if they went by an out-of-context clip, instead of actually speaking to me about it first. I hope you're happy, man. And yeah, I really don't know what to say other than have a nice life. Again, thanks for the friendship we did have before all of that went down. I wish you and your wife the best. And good luck on your SRT runs. I'm going to try and save my home. I was hoping to do a Twitch stream talking with my friends in Samaritans, with every charity organization I've worked with, let's be honest, and see if there was some way I could put an event together to raise money to find a new home, one with cheaper rent, to save my home, to save my wife and my children from going homeless. That was ripped away too. People don't think before they take action, and there are consequences to that. You end up causing a catastrophe of damage to a person's life. This act of defamation of character against me, I'm going to move forward from it. I'm not going to report their video. I'm not going to be like, oh, fuck that guy or anything, because done is done, man. What do I hope to accomplish by basically being like, oh, you know, this guy is a dick? No, it's done. There's no reason. We're both grown-ass men. Too damn old to be doing petty shit like this. My wife is not doing well. Neither am I. We're both extremely depressed because this is the only home we have known since our childhood homes. Like, in terms of a permanent home. Our son keeps throwing up because of the fucking heat that we were going through for the past week and a half of 109-degree weather here in St. Louis, Missouri. That's my focus, not this petty vendetta. Streams will continue as usual. Again, I'll stick to the 2 hour mark as much as seemingly possible so I can still put more of my time into job hunting, spending time with my family, which is my wife and my children at this point, because the majority of my family fucking sucks. From basically sweeping under the rug that I was raped, to glorifying domestic abuse, to glorifying child abuse. My family is not good people for the most part. My older sister, my sister-in-law, my oldest brother, my brother, and my little sister being the very rare exclusions of that, thankfully, as we're the only ones that actually called that shit out. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. The podcast is on an indefinite hiatus. I'm still very close to lead. I just need some time because there was a lot of damage done that I'm still trying to heal from. I was betrayed by several friends because of this whole situation. This was an unforgivable act of defamation of character. And I'm going to turn the other cheek. Because I don't see a reason in taking any sort of action. Reporting the video, taking legal action, it doesn't seem worth it to me. My whole life people have hated me for no reason. This is no different. So yeah, to both individuals, wish you the best in life. I hope you get that promotion. The hypothetical one, obviously, I don't know for sure, but I hope you get that promotion you've been gunning for. I hope you and your wife, that individual specifically, have true happiness. I hope the individual that cut me off silently as a result of all this, who also partook in the bullying, is doing well in life as well. Despite saying they couldn't even wish me the best. Fair enough, that's how you feel. I can't really say anything about that, you know? You hate me, you hate me. I'm not going to go out of my way, bend over backwards, and be like, oh, but, you know, this, and this. I'm going to continue spending the years I have left, assuming I even have years left, given that my health is deteriorating at an accelerated rate, and we still don't know why. Just being me. More music to come out soon. Doom Eternal's DLC. I think it's called Among the Gods or Along the Gods, or that could be the Korean film series I like. The first part will come out Monday. I'm gonna try and change things up a bit, and try to do collaboration streams, but we'll see how that goes. I'll be honest, I'm scared. Not of him. He got what he wanted. He should leave me alone now. Now I'm scared of losing my home. It's my fault we're in this mess. I haven't worked in 5 years. Regardless of the circumstances around it, that is the fact of the matter. And I've never shied away from that. Whenever my wife is like, I'm sorry, it's like, you don't need to be sorry, I do. I haven't worked in 5 years. I've tried everything I could to find a job, but to no avail. Even my old employment specialist couldn't really help, so I'm hoping this new one I'm seeing July 3rd should be able to help, which now I have to switch to an over-the-phone kind of interview because my money's got to go towards food and bills exclusively now. I have enough money to pay for the bills for 2 months. That's it. And I mentioned on my Discord that I'm hoping to find a job, use that as my permanent job, get off of assigned disability, just have a full-time job, and hopefully have enough to pay for everything and give Brittany like a few months, if I can, to just heal. Focus on her mental and physical health and heal. I wanted to give her a full year, but I realized how outrageous that was given how expensive things are these days. And I still plan on doing that. I just need to find work. She worked at IKEA for 5 years where she endured abuse very similar to what I went through as a kid. And to what she went through as an adult with her mother. Long story short, not a good parent. Just leave it at that, trust me. We needed a restraining order against her at one point. That's how bad it was. I will do what I can to stay strong, but I'm not promising anything as far as like, hey, I'm going to be positive, you know, I'm going to stay super happy-go-lucky. No, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pretend that everything's all cheery and sunshiny. I mean, it's been cloudy for going on 3 months nonstop with rain. It's a perfect example of my mood, to be honest. What I can promise you guys is this, is that I'm done. I've opened up about my feelings about the situation with you-know-who. Almost said the name by accident. Again, the point is not to cause that person harassment or anything. No, I'm just done. It's just to vent how I feel about the situation and explaining my side of the story. Because guess what? That clip was a 10-second clip of a 2.5-hour stream of me spilling my guts to my viewers, to my audience, and to my Twitch about the fact that I am suicidal, that I'm losing my home, that I still can't find work, and that my wife is extremely depressed as well due to being illegally fired by her Trump supporter bosses. Big surprise, they're racist. They're Trump supporters. Most are. Yeah, that's the long and short of it. Again, if you're watching this, I hope you are. So this can be a way of us burying the hatchet for good. Now that you got your victory, I forgive you, man. As crazy as that sounds, as much as it sounds like I should be saying something else, no, I do. I forgive you for getting me banned on Twitch. I forgive you for painting me as a monster when all I've ever done is help people. And I sincerely appreciate the time we had together as friends, both as SRT runners and as content creators. I wish you the best in life. I wish your wife the best in life. Wish you guys a long and healthy marriage and a long and healthy life. And yeah, I hope you get that world record you're going for. I don't know which one you're going for. I just know as a runner you're probably going for world records. Thank you for being a friend to me in the time you were. Thank you for being there for me when my daughter died. Thank you for helping me realize that I love stronger than I should. Have a nice life, man. I'm going to try and enjoy what little of mine I have left. And to anyone watching who knows who this person is, wish him well as well, please. I do not want any bad blood out of this whole situation. I don't want any backlash from this whole thing. I just want this to end. I was already suicidal before all this happened. This has just made it worse. We've got the rent figured out, thankfully. Rent's never going to be an issue. I can pay for that. The problem is utilities. We pay Spectrum, Spire, and Ameren. So Spectrum is our internet bill, which we can easily just cut out if we need to. Internet's not a necessity after all. Spire is our gas bill, which is like, what, $50 now a month? Which I take care of. I usually take care of anyway. And then we've got Ameren, and that's the big one. Ameren is $149 a month. That's with a payment plan, by the way. If we can figure out Ameren, we can save our home. I make $905 a month, which is not enough, unfortunately. I need at least, let's see, 104. There's like 117 more, so like $1,015 to pay for all the bills and the rent. So hopefully I can just find something minimum wage, even that works. And to those asking, no, I have not attempted to, because I've gotten many questions about this recently from friends that are concerned about my health and everything. It's like, hey, have you reached out to the person and explained what has been, have you tried to talk things out? It's like, no, I don't see a reason. Them doing this against me shows that there's no point in even trying to talk things out, so I'll just leave them alone. I never got around to being able to do the charity stream for my brother to help him find a new home. Thankfully, he was able to find something. He's living with a friend currently. Full-time job, still, thankfully. Uh, Unfortunately, my nephew did die in the fire. We thought he was missing, but no, they found him lifeless next to his food bowl and his toys. Kitty cat. Patrick called him his son, so I call him my nephew. His name was Beelzebub. He's a little black kitty, very sweet boy, very young, I think about 7 or 8. Died of most likely carbon monoxide asphyxiation. And the only thing untouched in the fire was his toy and his bowl, making all of us think he was probably just laying on them. This is a new chapter in my life. As I said, the podcast is on an indefinite hiatus, as is Community Night, because obviously I'm saving this place, trying to. But yeah, glad I finally got that off my chest. I've been avoiding talking about it on stream intentionally because it's like, as much as I wanted to vent and be like, hey, I'm frustrated with what happened, there was no reason to do so. Whereas now I can just be fully transparent and be like, hey guys, yeah, I'm terrified, I'm hurt bad because I lost a lot due to all of this whole situation. And now knowing that I never even felt threatened, that this was out of spite, it adds a whole new layer to it. Because when I thought they felt threatened, I was like, okay, my sincere apologies. Our beef was settled a long time ago. Sorry, man, can we talk things out, work things out and bury this hatchet once and for all? No, when my best friend confirmed for me that this was out of spite, that's when I was like, alright, then I'll just leave him alone. I try to phrase things as best I can, and I never succeed at it. And it's due to being too careful that I end up phrasing things wrong in the first place. This was not that situation. This was purely me venting to my audience, and someone taking it out of context intentionally caused me emotional harm. Who knew me very well. But even before Lead was my SRT brother, me and this person were close. But again, as weird as it sounds, I still wish him the best. I know how crazy and how stupid that fucking sounds, but I mean it. I sincerely wish you the best in life. I sincerely wish my rapist the best in life. Though that one's a little bit harder considering she did rape me after all. Whereas this guy, he didn't physically harm me. He just destroyed my career and my life in the process. I still wish my abusive mother the best in life. I wish my wife's abusive mother the best in life, mainly so she leaves us the fuck alone. Because I'm tired of us being stalked, and I'm tired of her hurting my wife. A wise man once told me, in the face of cruelty, never ever lose heart. I think I understand what he means now, because he's known me my entire life, and he knows that I have a tendency to get stabbed in the back a lot. I've mentioned this to Socks, that back when we used to do a podcast together, on the podcast, that people have a tendency to just walk out of my life or hurt me in the worst imaginable way for seemingly no reason at all. To the point I've gotten used to just learning how to sincerely apologize, even for not doing anything wrong. But yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to move forward, to be honest. I lost family because of this, and that's something I have to live with. I made the stupid decision to say what I did on stream, and I take full accountability. I accept my punishment of being banned on Twitch. That's it. I fucked up. There were consequences. I could easily argue that, hey, he could have just left it alone, but I still said what I said. regardless of whether or not he would take action or not, I still said something that should not have been said on stream. That is on me. And I take full responsibility. Please learn from my example and have a filter when you stream, guys. Even when you're venting to your audience, be careful what you say. Even the best intentions can be twisted, unfortunately. And yeah. I wish everyone a happy day. I'm going to try and have one. And for those concerned about my mental health, I am seeking extensive therapy for the suicidal thoughts and ideation. I am seeking employment assistance, which is what an employee specialist is. I am seeing them July 3rd. I'm hoping to talk to them over the phone. Give me one sec. Gotta plug in my laptop. And yeah, if to the person that I am talking about, I hope you have an awesome life, and I know you'll get that promotion you're gunning for. Again, assuming I understand anything about what your job situation is. Yeah, that's really it. If anything, if anybody's in the chat would like to talk for a few minutes, really use the company. Even if you're angry at me, I'd rather just be told, you know. I want things to get better. Even if I die, I still want everyone else to do better, to feel better, and to heal. This year has taken a lot from all of us. A few years ago, lost my daughter. The closest thing I'll ever have to a daughter, to be honest. She was 13 and died from feline leukemia. Her name was Suki, and to me, she was my daughter. She was my baby girl. I raised her when she was barely able to open her eyes. Very sick. I raised her back to health. And the last time I got to see her was the day before my oldest brother's wedding, and I didn't even realize it was the last time I would see her. I was watching Jacksepticeye play Phasmophobia. Not Phasmophobia, sorry, the mortuary assistant. And I remember she was asleep on my chest. And then we went to my oldest brother's wedding the next day, me and my family. I sang Simple Man, which I had been practicing all year, hence the obsessive covering of it on streams and stuff. Apologies for that, by the way, guys. I got a standing ovation from both families, and not even a few days later, when I was about to do the charity stream with Risk of Rain 2 with my friend at the time, Nick, who I cut off for being a Trump supporter. And I don't mean as in, like, he didn't know what Trump was doing. No, he fully was aware and was supportive of what he was doing, unfortunately, so I cut his ass off. We were going to stream Risk of Rain 2 for a charity stream, and like an hour beforehand, I got a message, not even a message, I got a call from my now estranged mother that Suki had died, that Dad had found her dead in Madison's old spot. My childhood pet that had died shortly before. So it was Madison and Trixie were my childhood pets. Trixie was a tiger tabby, Madison was a long-haired Persian. Very small kitty though, she's cute. Trixie died from dementia, and then Madison died afterwards. Suki was really depressed because of it, because she was really close to Madison. And Suki essentially died while we were all at Sean's wedding. So she died completely alone. I tried to bury her several times, but animals kept digging her up, and the final time I found her, second to last time, I found her disemboweled in the woods. I tried to dig a deeper hole for her, a deeper grave, buried her in her blanket. And the next day, after the storm had hit, I found her in pieces all over the woods. He was there for me when that happened. He was a good friend to me through that whole thing. I think that's the reason why this action that was taken hurt so damn bad. I often wonder if the people that hurt me, cut me off, or whatever, ever even remember any good times I had with them. The friendship we shared, or any sort of positivity, or do they just hate me that fucking much? Questions like that will drive you insane, by the way. The whole what if, or do they even consider? That shit will drive you insane, trust me. I used to think that about Hot Mess Pison, a Bayonetta runner that I was close to. I cut ties with them, admittedly, because I was being an idiot. They went off on my friend, Tech God. He was mentioning that weight was not a basis of which to treat someone. Well, her friend was a trauma victim and a survivor due to weight-related issues and being bullied for it. So his cold and calculated approach to it came off as cruel and heartless. He's like, I don't see weight as a reason to treat someone any which way. As a result, my friend went off on him, like blew the fuck up at him. And then went off on me. I went to Paisan to tell them, it's like, hey man, they're going off on me. I didn't even have any say in this. And they didn't take too kindly to that, so yeah. They're like, oh, they're not going off on you. You should. Your friend stuck his foot in his big fat mouth. And I'm like, he was trying to be as emotionally understanding as he can. The man is autistic and literally cannot understand emotional responses through text. And it sounds like an excuse, which is why I was like, I grant you, I understand that's no reason for him to, no justification. I'm just explaining where the misconstruction came from. It just turned into this whole thing. And I was just like, all right, fuck it. Have a nice life. And to this day, I still regret that because they were like an older sister to me. She got me into speedrunning Bayonetta for a while. I wasn't good at it. She's one of the best in the world at it. She left the official community because a cheater had actually made it onto the leaderboard in #1 spot, and the moderators just allowed it to happen, completely ruining the credibility of the community. And kind of killing any hope that other runners had of succeeding on the leaderboard. It was really fucked. And then there was Thomas. My best friend of 20 fucking years. My brother. My baby brother. Similar to Max and D'Anthony. I practically raised that kid. Same with Max and D'Anthony. I looked out for them. When Max's brother died, I was the one that took care of him. Took him under my wing. All three of them were my brothers. Max and I lost contact after he became an avid Trump supporter, to the point of promoting deporting innocent civilians. I hope he's doing well. I hope he's not teaching his daughter that. Good God. D'Anthony and I lost contact. No blood, no bad blood or anything. It's just he moved out of state. The man is a successful actor. Him, Thomas, and Max were my closest friends in the entire world ever since we were kids. I had known Thomas so long. I was practically meeting him when we were infants. That's how long we've known each other. He was 25 years old, and he met someone on Grindr that he first told us, in person to my face and my wife's face, was 18. Well, he got a call from a concerned relative that the person was actually younger, so 17. Still fucked, right? Age of consent in Illinois, 17. I don't believe in the age of consent shit. That shit is way too damn low age, if you ask me. It needs to be at least like 21. And it bothered my wife to the point she actually messaged me. She's like, you gotta do something about this. This isn't okay. Well, it turns out the situation was much worse than originally thought. Not only was he not actually 17, as he confessed to in my Discord, my old one, he was 16. Now, I will fully admit, I should not have publicly called him out. I should have just kicked him out of the Discord and just left it at that. Because here's the thing. His Discord had already been hacked before that by someone. We still don't know who did it. We're trying to find it so we can help other people. So he was technically no longer even in the Discord. There was no reason for me to publicly bring it up in the Discord. What was worse was the fact that half my community defend him, including the person with the vindictiveness against me, and the other half came to my defense. The half that defended him tried to push me to suicide. The other half defended me and said I was doing the right thing, including someone in our community who at this time was 16 and flat out said, "No, you did the right thing." By definition, what he did was considered pedophilia. Well, this became such a divisive issue in my Discord that I had to burn it to the ground. I deleted the whole thing. Not before I cut out Chef and another person. But then I had second thoughts about it. Because at first, I thought I was in the right? I thought I did the right thing by exposing Thomas and then kick him out of the community, whatever. And the entire community had me convinced then that I was in the wrong, so I tried to message and apologize, thinking, hey, I fucked up, oh man, did I just hurt my best friend unintentionally? Did I fuck up? No, if you look it up, the law says even 17 is only age of consent with consent from parents. There was no consent from parents. And the person was actually 16, if the call was to be believed. That was enough, right? That was bad enough. Then I reached out to the person for advice on job hunting. I gave him my address, which I have since regretted because I still think he's going to do something with that. And he helped me work on my resume, right? And so I was using that for a while. Got no bites, not a single one. Despite all the changes I made, it didn't help at all. And I explained to him and the other person, and like, hey man, I've never been able to keep a job, let alone find a job because of these issues I have, and I've been going to therapy, I've been on medication for it. Nothing seems to help because these jobs do not unfortunately give a shit about those with disabilities. As I have learned from experience, 5 different jobs. What should have been constructive criticism and venting turned into that person and the other person tearing into me for 3.5 hours. That was the final straw. Hell, had they even just done it privately in the moderator chat, because they were both my mods, I would have just let it go and be like, alright, you were dicks, whatever, fine. I'll just keep job hunting, keep applying, keep checking up on applications, keep physically going to places and applying. Keep trying to fucking employee specialist I haven't been able to get a hold of. At the time, it's a different one now, thankfully. And this one I have a guaranteed appointment with July 3rd. But no, they felt the need to do this publicly in the general chat where everyone in the Discord could see it. That was it. I blew a fucking gasket. And I kicked him the fuck out of my community. Not only have they defended a predator, openly, tried to logic away that it was age of consent, which no, it wasn't. Now they have publicly harassed me. Now they have publicly vilified and attacked me. So yeah, I kicked them out of my fucking Discord. That was almost 2 years ago. What happened with Twitch wasn't even related. Don't get me wrong, I was pissed. I was hurt. Again, I felt betrayed. But then I sat and thought about it. And was like, yeah, I did say stupid shit on stream. And that's the consequence for it. Whatever. I get that. To take it a step further and make a YouTube video about it to vilify me as a person, after spending nearly 2 decades doing what I can to be a good person to people, that was a step too far. Not to mention highly fucking illegal. As by intentionally taking that clip out of context and weaponizing it to propose misinformation and misrepresent information, that is by law defamation of character. I have the VOD. But again, it's just... I've been told I should take action, but it's just, no. I don't see a reason to. Because as much as I'm hurt by it again, I can't help but just wish them best in life. I can't imagine what they're going through that would force them to feel the need to kick someone when they're already down. But I'm not going to retort. It's not worth it. So, in conclusion, it's like I burned a lot of bridges, and there are some I regret pies on. And I've lived with the consequences of my actions. I lost an older sister figure who was also a best friend to me, and I will live with that for the rest of my life. As much as I would love to reach out and see if they're okay, as much as I miss them, miss talking to them and hanging out with them, that was my fault, you know? Just as me getting banned on Twitch was entirely my fault. The vindictive action taken as a result of it, on the other hand, is not. It was a one-way rivalry pushed to the limits out of pure spite, and that is the truth. As scared as I am of losing everything, I still can't help but wish them well. And I don't know why. I want to hate them. I want to have a vengeful hatred of them, but I psychologically can't. I'm just not that person. I don't even wish anything bad on my wife's mother who tried to kill me. I don't wish anything bad on my mother who covered up the fact that I was raped. It's just not who I am. Despite what that clip entails. Which, if you even watch the clip, you can even tell I was not okay. I was breaking down. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going through my mind, is just all this circling back and forth. And it's like, great, I can't wait to see what else falls apart. I can't wait to see how much more my life turns to shit. I'm worried about Shadow. He's been throwing up like crazy due to the fucking heat. Now that Britt's fired, I'm going to pay all the rent. And try and figure out the utilities. So you can kind of see why my mind is going back and forth. It's going between... I think I said his name once. Apologies. It's going back and forth between trying to find a job to save the home, the hell I'm going through due to that vindictive action that was taken against me, back to trying to find a solution to save our home. It's just back and forth, and it's maddening. I haven't slept a wink in like 3 fucking days because of it, just trying to figure out the finances and figure out what to do. As far as that whole situation is concerned, now that I've finally had a moment to talk with you guys about it and finally get it off my chest, my thoughts on the situation, own up to what I did, as well as take accountability for what happened, and just basically say, hey, you won. Congrats. I don't care. Have a nice life. Wish you the best, and that's it. I do feel a little bit better, honestly. Because I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this since it happened. But I was kind of scared. I mean, venting once got my stream removed. What was stopping him from clipping something again and immediately getting my YouTube removed? I don't know. I lost the entire SRT community as friends because of this whole situation. Some even telling me they can't even wish me well because I haven't learned anything in 2 years. You mean the 2 years I've been extensively going to therapy, taking my medication to make sure that I keep my mood swings in check, talking things out with my wife, unresolved trauma she's been going through as well with her family, working on my relationship with my family, my siblings, and my friends. Oh, and the best part, stepping away from charity streams, because as stubborn as I am, if I'm not raising money for the cause, then there's no reason to charity stream. That's the whole point, is to help the cause. I haven't learned anything in 2 years. That's really interesting. How would you know? You haven't spoken to me in 4. Sorry, 3 now, not 4. The last words you said to me was that I was a loser, a coward, and a bum. And then you quietly cut me off to avoid conflict, yet had the balls to go to his video and basically call me out. Yeah, I read that. You're probably expecting me to go off, swear, something. No. What is there to gain from pursuing more conflict? It's not going to bring my job back. It's not going to bring my daughter back. It's not going to save my home. The damage is unforgivable and it's done. I just hope that, yeah, you find happiness in life. Shit, one of us has to. I don't have much time left. I already know it. It's very hard to put into words, but I know I don't have much time. It's not due to my health or anything. I just got this gut feeling that I don't have much time left. So in that time left, I'm going to enjoy what time I have with my wife and my fur babies. I'm going to spend time with my friends, the ones I still have left after all of this betrayal. And yeah, I forgive you and I forgive him. I wish you guys the best. Trust me, I wish I could be the person you want me to be. This vindictive, petty asshole, but it's just not who I am. You destroyed my life. You got your victory in this invisible war you had against me. Hope you're doing well, man. And to you as well, the other person who said I didn't learn anything in 2 years. Thanks for being a friend to me when you were, and have a nice life. I am sad that you feel that way, given you are a driving force in why I push myself harder than ever to find something. Newsflash, guys, the job industry isn't the way you think it is. Even before a douchebag took over the office, finding a job and keeping a job is nearly impossible these days, unless you're working in highly abusive environments, in which case you're only keeping those jobs because they can't replace you. They replaced Britt. So, yeah. And I'm press this shit again. I used to have fun with him playing. We used to race Spyro 2 together. Me and the other guy. Again, it's really hard to say who specifically, because there's 2 people, right? They know who they are. We used to run Spyro 2 together. We had a whole plan to continue encouraging each other to get better at that specific entry. I used to run. Surf and I used to be friendly competitors, both in the Trifecta and the 117. I don't know what our quote-unquote relationship is now, unfortunately. Surf isn't the name of the other guy. He's just another friend in the community. Just that's why. Yeah. Going to try and move forward. And focus on my wife and children. They need me. Even if it feels like the majority of people want me gone, at least there is still some people that want me around. Proving that anxiety I fight every morning wrong, just a little bit. I wish I could do like a positive outro, but I'm just not feeling right. Just not feeling okay. I'm not okay, and that's okay. It's a quote, I think it's a movie or something. I just remember seeing it years ago. I am not okay, and that's okay. I will work on trying to be okay. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Here's hoping this stream doesn't get my fucking YouTube banned. Cause not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared it is. And hopefully the vendetta's over. Because honestly, I really can't take any more hatred towards me in my life these days. I'm beyond my breaking point. I'm almost numb at this point. Sorry. Have a good day, everyone.